at. Now, this does cost you a lot of time, and it's not a free thing. There is a transactional aspect of it that you have to really expect going in. I feel like to get proficient at something or to improve on something, there's really one proven method that nobody likes to talk about, but it's the one thing that's going to guarantee that you're actually improving and getting better at it. And it's something that I've done with my drumming career, it's something that I've done with video, and it's something that I pretty much do with anything that I want to get better at. Now, this does cost you a lot of time, and it's not a free thing. There is a transactional aspect of it that you have to really expect going in. When I got into drums, there was many years where I was just completely fixated and obsessed with it, with laser focus, like nothing else in the world matters. My grades didn't matter, high school friendships really didn't matter. Those were the years that I really learned how to play drums, and it really became second nature to do that. And video has been nothing short of that. Now, taking classes and learning from other people and watching tutorials on video, that all has its place within getting better, but I think the one thing that's going to really just make it either make you good or not make you good is going to be just total obsession and fixation with whatever you want to get better at. Make that your entire world, and nothing else in the world exists, and that is what guides your day every single day. Like, it's like a laser focus, like you just go on that path, and that's the only thing that matters. You don't veer off of it at all. That is the only way, or that is the best way to get proficient, like truly proficient. When I first started with like camera gear and everything else, it was extremely I sucked. I'll just be honest. I didn't know what log was. I didn't know what 10-bit was. I didn't know anything about cameras. But through the last couple of years, I've been totally and completely fixated and obsessed with this, and very little other things besides like the important things like family. Everything else, just, it did not matter. Like video games did not matter. Pretty much anything did not matter. But with the exception of running, just because I found that it actually contributes and helps with like making videos and video ideas and stuff. Like during my runs, I get a lot of those ideas, or at least flush them out. With the exception of that, nothing else in my life has really, like, video is the thing. And I've seen a lot of growth, and I've seen myself improve, not just with like how to use a camera, but how to craft a story and how to make a video, how to edit the whole thing. And I think if you feel like you want to get better at something, or you want to get truly proficient and truly like just it becomes like second nature, that's one of the only ways, if not the only way, to really get better. Now, I realize that makes me sound crazy, and it's not meant to sound crazy. I was thinking about that this morning, and yeah. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know down in the comments, because that does make me sound a little nuts, but well, I think there is some truth to it, at least for me. I've found that if I can't like half-ass anything, I have to like be like complete and utter whole-assing it, just because like if I don't, then I'm not gonna be completely committed to it, and when I find like a bump in the road or something like trips me up, I'm more likely to just go do something else, because that's gonna be easier than sitting there trying to figure something out. And I can't imagine that I'm the only one that thinks that way or does that. Also, I made coffee. I made coffee for Savannah yesterday, and I asked her, one of the questions I asked when I gave it to her was, "Are you going to finish this?" And she said unequivocally yes. And the reason I say that is because I gave myself like significantly less. This is her coffee cup from yesterday, and there's it's like a daily thing. But it doesn't matter, because I end up getting this the next day, and I put it in the fridge, and it's kind of like a cold brew. So it's like a little free snack that I knew that I was gonna get, but I didn't know that I was gonna get. I hope the proficiency thing makes sense. Growing up in California, the thing that I took for granted probably the most and I didn't realize this until I moved out of California, was the consistency of weather. If I pretty much knew every single day when I woke up what I needed to wear to like be totally comfortable for that day, and I didn't have to really look at the weather. I didn't really have to put much thought into it. I just grabbed what I normally grab, and that was it. And being outside of that kind of thing, like outside of California where the weather isn't consistent, it's been like close to a decade of me being out of California, and I still have no idea how to dress for the weather. Like, it's still foreign to me to check the weather. All that to be said, the weather said that it's supposed to rain pretty much all day today, and it sprinkled one time, and that was pretty much it, and that was on my run. And past that, it hasn't rained. It's just kind of wet and well, kind of mushy outside. What's that saying? You don't know what you have until it's gone. That's totally very much true, at least from the weather aspect of Cal. I miss the consistency just because, well, I'm a complete idiot when it comes to knowing how to dress for the weather, apparently. On my run, I was thinking a little more about what we had previously talked about earlier, and I think I hope it doesn't come off as me like being like egotistical, saying that I'm proficient at whatever I did. For me, when I say like being proficient at something, it's knowing what to do in like 90% of the situations that are thrown at you. Like if you're throwing a curveball, then it doesn't really shake you very much because you've been in that experience, you've been there before, and you have the experience to like know what to do to like fix whatever issue may be presented to you. It's not like oh, I'm the best in the world. It's just having the knowledge and the experience to really know what to do. And I think you only get that knowledge from actually doing it and just obsessing over whatever that subject matter is. Like you can read about it, but if you haven't really experienced it and applied it, then I mean I feel like you don't really, you know what to do, but you don't know how to do it. I was just thinking about that, and I just felt like I should mention that. We're pretty much not doing anything today. We're really just working from home, and we ordered groceries last night from Amazon, and they're supposed to be here between like 10 and 12, but the problem is we don't have anything to eat. Like this morning I had oatmeal that was like probably 5 years old, and pretty much the only thing that we have to eat is coffee. And well, after we're both very hungry, and I'm hoping that the food comes soon. Also, it's always like a toss-up if they actually deliver it to our door. Half the time, I'm not even joking, they'll deliver it on the street, like outside, and we won't know until like we happen to walk outside and we see that's ours. Like that's happened with packages as well as food, and I have no idea why. I don't know if it's just our building or if it's just like an Amazon thing, but it happens more than it should, like if that makes sense. All to be said, we're waiting for that, and past that, there's not. We're just working, and that's pretty much it. I just finished my coffee, and now I'm drinking Savannah's old coffee from yesterday. I told you it happens all the time. Tomorrow I'm set to run like a long run. Like I think I'm running around like 14 or 15 miles for my marathon training program, and I've learned the hard way that my like the secret thing, or the thing that I need to like put in my body beforehand it'll determine if the run is easy or just absolutely terrible is pizza, weirdly enough. And our favorite pizza place was actually closed, so we ended up ordering from Domino's, which is actually a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be. We got 2 large pizzas for like $20 or something like that. Savannah and I got up pretty early today. Like we got up at 6 a.m. and it's currently 2, and I feel like we've done a lot, and that's one of the reasons I like getting up super early, is because I get a jump on the day. The reason I say all that is because we just finished playing video games, and the video game that we play, the matches last like an hour and a half-ish, and I happened to look outside, and it looked really nice outside, so I ended up like going out on our balcony. Long story short, it actually feels really nice outside, so we decided to come out here, and we're literally just sitting on this bench. And this is a rarity because in Tennessee there's like only a couple of weeks a year where it's not freezing cold, or it's just so hot and humid that you just don't want to go outside unless you absolutely have to, especially if you have to work like in July, like outside in the summer. The last thing you want to do is to go outside. So we're taking advantage of that right now by just literally sitting on this. I've been trying to do this more. One of the reasons I love running is because it gives me the opportunity to just pretty much not have to think about anything besides running, and sitting on this bench is close to that. There's there's just a lot of people out, a lot more than I thought, and it's like in the middle of the day on what day is it? On a Tuesday. This fountain that's in front of us normally is filled with water, but they drained it a couple of weeks ago, and they haven't filled it up at all, and I'm not sure why. Normally that is filled with a bunch of water, but if you were wondering that entire time if what was like on the corner, that was actually barbecue sauce from our pizza. Savannah just now told me that as I'd finished shooting all that, so if that was bothering you, I'm sorry. Right, you ready to go home?
Yeah.
One of the reasons the only reason that we got up early this morning was to work on a couple of things, and I wanted to talk about something because it's an issue that we've had, and I think this could probably help somebody if, at any event, so the wedding that we were editing, I was the first video shooter, and we had a second video shooter that we hired. And it's not that it's not that it was bad. It's just it could have been better. So I figured I would go over, if you're ever in a position where somebody's hiring you, I know it can be kind of daunting and not knowing what they actually expect. And if you're anything like me, you want to deliver the best possible product. And I think doing a couple of these things would actually, it's going to help. It's something that I wish somebody would have told me. So with that, I'm gonna go over them. I might make a full video out of this if you find this interesting and you'd like to see a full video. Let me know down below. I don't know if this is busy or if this is boring or if this pertains to anybody but myself. Anyway, a couple of things that I would recommend if you're starting to work with somebody else is don't be afraid to ask questions. Like if you aren't sure if they shoot in 24 frames, 30 frames, 60, whatever, I would just ask and just over communicate. I would rather somebody over communicate than not communicate at all, and I only find out that they shot everything in 60 frames, which I never do, and I'm figuring it out for the first time when I'm sitting down to edit on this computer. And the other thing is probably bigger than the first. It's going to be teachable. Like if I want you to shoot a specific way that's normally not the way that you shoot, and you're not completely sure or confident of that, asking questions and saying hey, I am uncomfortable doing this, but I'm more than willing to learn. That's huge. And for me, hearing that tells me okay, I'm this person's willing to work with me and willing to meet me where they are, even if they aren't at the competence level or at the ability level that I would want, preferably. I'm more than happy to work with them to help them get them up to that level. Because it just makes it better makes an overall better working environment. If you're not teachable, then it makes it really difficult to want to hire you back, and it just makes everything less easy to work with. Those are pretty much the only two. I mean, I could probably flesh out a bunch of other ones, but those were the two that came to mind. And it's not that the guy that we hired is bad. It's just there's some if the working environment's gears and cogs, there's some sand in there that's causing the machine to not work as best as it probably could. That's it.